The first half of the baseball season is almost over. Let's finish strong by making some waiver wire pickups that could help you in the second half. Just days ago on Beat the Breakout, I talked about Rhys Hines. Let's lead off with him again because he's now moved from a possible stash to a must add. First game, home run, first of his major league career. Second game, second home run of his career, and 3 hits altogether. And now after 4 games of major league action, he's hitting 500, and not just a couple of home runs, but also 3 doubles. He just keeps racking up extra base hits. Oh yeah, and 2 steals also. At this current pace, he's going to be an MVP for the rest of the season. But of course, we have to temper expectations because there is something in his profile that I did mention a couple days ago that you might have to worry about. That is his plate discipline. This is a free swinging slugger. So far, it's working. It's paying off. That's for sure. At some point, it's going to slow down, but also those strikeouts are going to get him into trouble. So even though he is hitting 500, 8 for 16 those first 4 games, he also has 5 strikeouts and no walks. Not a patient hitter. And look, that's fine. You can get away with that approach, especially if you're making hard contact. He will still get his extra base hits, and the speed is really nice bonus too. But the batting average is due to come down. But that said, look, this guy's hot. You take advantage. I don't care. You grab him while you can. You ride it out. You almost wish that the All-Star break wasn't coming soon because, who knows if that's going to disrupt his flow. But look, even if he isn't a stud the rest of the way, you pick him up right now while you can. All right, now let's talk about another rookie who is heating up. He's been around all season, but Colt Keith, very up and down, and to the extreme. Obviously, right now, he's on the upswing. He's starting to get added in a lot of leagues, so it might be time to pick up on him. Another guy who you almost wish that the break wasn't coming because he swings such a hot bat in July. There were high hopes for him, along with a couple of other Tigers hitters who have not panned out. Well, in April, he was just completely miserable. Hit 163, not a single home run, only 5 RBIs. And then in May, he definitely showed signs of turning it around. He hit 342 for that month, his first major league home run. In fact, he had 2 of them and 14 RBIs. He was actually becoming useful in fantasy. And then in June, it's like he forgot how to hit all over again. Only hit 220 for that month with only 5 RBIs again. So what's happened, of course, now in July, just the first week and a half, he already has 4 home runs in just 37 at-bats, and the batting average is shooting way up. So you can see his batting average looks like a huge roller coaster, thankfully right now on the upswing. His X-slugging chart, though, tells a little bit of a different story. It's more of a steady improvement, and yes, the power has definitely started to spike. This is not really a power hitter. This is a guy of much smaller stature than, let's say, a Rhys Hines, but still, he's got some pop here. He is known for his hit tool. He should definitely be able to help you in average, be more of a consistent player, and I like that you can slot him both second and third base. So again, there's use for him pretty much all 12-plus team leagues for fantasy right now. Another middle infielder that you can put at second, third, or shortstop, and pretty soon going to add outfield eligibility, Angel Martinez of the Guardians. He's been playing a lot of center field lately. Now, this is not a player that I talked about on Beat the Breakout. I've not mentioned stashing him. There's been a couple of Guardians prospects that have come and gone up and down, haven't quite panned out. Looks like Martinez might be the one that actually sticks because he's swinging a hot bat. Despite coming off an 0 for 4 performance today, he's still batting .294 since being called up. And that defensive versatility and effectiveness gives him a good chance to stay on the roster. Now, the thing with Martinez, well, I'm not going to sway you against adding him. Obviously, why would I talk about him on the waiver wire video and then tell you not to pick him up? You can pick him up because he's helping you with batting average. He's hitting second now in the lineup. He can score runs for sure. And I love, again, the fact that you can use him as a utility player pretty much everywhere. But the counting stats aren't that exciting. Only has 1 home run so far and not a single steal. And he probably won't steal many bases because that's just not his thing. He really isn't a fast guy, doesn't steal bases really in the minors, and the power is limited. So as long as you know what you're getting here, it's going to be batting average, it's going to be runs scored. That's mostly it. And let's just stay with another rookie here. This is a theme because after all, you're probably not going to pick up too many players that you feel are going to help you win this week because this week only has a couple days left before we break for the second half. Let's think long term. Let's think upside. That points me to Joey Loperfido of the Houston Astros. Now, I've mentioned Loperfido, as has been mentioned in media circles, as a guy who might actually get traded, which you think, why would the Astros be trading one of their top hitting prospects? That's because they're looking to win right now. They're definitely going to be buyers. They've already said this, declared their intentions. And of course, why wouldn't they? Team that's won multiple World Series over the last few years. They're going to be buying, which means somebody's got to go, and they might have to trade a guy like Loperfido in order to get back a valuable piece like a Christian Walker, like somebody who can help them at first base in the short term. That means Loperfido, even though he'll be leaving the Astros lineup, he could wind up in a really good situation still, like the Diamondbacks, which is a pretty good offense, and get everyday playing time for sure, and maybe hit higher than 8th or ninth in the lineup. So this actually might be a good thing for his fantasy value. He's not really been hot lately, hasn't done a lot to really get you excited in fantasy, but he's having a solid season, hitting 288, couple homers, couple steals. Again, altogether, the package is there, and he could definitely continue to improve as the season goes on. This is really a bit more of a stash, I would say, speculative stash, but if you're going to do that kind of thing, again, looking long term, I think now's a good time. What if I told you there's a player who's a strong candidate for AL Rookie of the Year who's hitting 250? He's got 11 home runs, 11 stolen bases, 51 RBIs, and 45 runs scored. That would be Ceddanne Rafaela, and that he's still available in a third of all Yahoo leagues. ESPN, somehow he's rostered in only 21% of leagues. That's pretty much a crime, I think. I'm not sure what else he has to do. Again, other than the batting average is just okay, about league average, he's helping you in every other category. Oh yeah, and you can slot him at shortstop or outfield. He's in that Boston lineup every day. I wish he was hitting higher, but even batting ninth, it's almost amazing that he hits so low in the order and still has racked up all those counting stats. I mean, at this point, if he's out there in any league you're in, there's no excuse. And then what if I told you there's a former Cy Young winning pitcher who is just out there in about 3/4 of Yahoo leagues and pretty much every ESPN league? Okay, there's a catch. Yeah, it's that he hasn't pitched at all this season, but Robbie Ray is on the verge of coming back. Yes, we're always cautious with pitchers, especially those who throw really hard and, are coming off of Tommy John surgery. And it's not exactly like he's, 24, 25 years old anymore. But still, it hasn't been that long. He's not that old. Robbie Ray still has plenty of gas left in the tank. And he's now in a better situation being in San Francisco. You already know that's a great park for pitchers. Robbie Ray has been brought along slowly. He's rehabbing. He's only been up to about a little over 3 innings in his rehab starts, but now starting to ramp it up a little bit more. So after the All-Star break, it's not going to be long before you hear about him about to be seeing his first action of 2024. You have to get ahead of that. You're going to have to stash him now. Look, just about a week ago, I feel like he wasn't even owned anywhere. And now all of a sudden, people are starting to pick him up. So if you want to take a shot on a guy who could really give your team a shot in the arm in the second half, Robbie Ray might not be lights out, right away. And of course, I don't think he's going to look like 2021 version of Robbie Ray when he did win the Cy Young with Toronto. But look, before last year and that injury in 2022, his last season of actually pitching, he was still really solid. I know it was disappointing because he was following up a Cy Young campaign, so a lot of the drafters who took him really early didn't love what they got, but he's still a really good pitcher. He was able to post in Seattle a 3.71 ERA, 1.19 whip, and struck out over 200 batters. That's still pretty good. All right, now let's get to a pitcher who had not pitched all year until last week. Gavin Williams finally made his debut. I kind of want to take a wait-and-see approach. Well, I think I like what I see, especially after his last start. The first outing, not so good. He did give up 5 earned runs in just 4 1/3 innings in his 2024 debut, but then went on to pitch 5 1/3 scoreless innings. And so it looks like he seems to be fine physically. He's in shape. Let's go ahead and grab him if he's there. And he still is available in almost half of fantasy leagues. Last year, as a rookie for Cleveland, posted a 3.29 ERA, 1.26 whip, and pretty much a K per inning. There's solid stuff here. He's in a great situation. Cleveland definitely knows how to develop pitching. And looks like he's going to be able to go at least 5 innings, hopefully up to 6 or more going forward the rest of the season. So you've got yourself a solid back end rotation piece. And then I just want to announce that I'm back on former Cleveland prospect, turned Milwaukee Brewer, Tobias Myers. Like, I know Milwaukee added Aaron Savale, got Dallas Keuchel, but Tobias Myers, I think will stick in the rotation because he's been that good since joining it. Right now, it's all lucky 13s for Myers. In 13 starts, he's got a 3.13 ERA, 1.13 whip, Myers is on a roll. He's got a quality start in 5 of his last 7 starts, and that includes the most recent outing, 8 scoreless against the Pirates. I know it's the Pirates, but still, 8 scoreless innings, not something you see too often from any pitcher these days. And Myers, like I said, has been really good almost every time he's taken the mound. And it's not like I really doubted him or jumped off the ship or anything. I just feel kind of guilty because I added him, was going with him, consistently start after start. And then I did drop him in one of my leagues and then immediately regretted it. And now I picked him back up. So I suggest you do the same. If he was dropped up for one disappointing outing, this guy has been really good and he's still available in a lot of leagues. Then another pitcher I just picked up myself in a couple of places. I suggest you do the same. I'm ready to go all in on Yariel Rodriguez of the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, Toronto also team is a very good chance to be selling, especially some of their veteran starting pitchers. That means I feel like Rodriguez is going to be in that rotation the rest of the season. But beyond that, I finally have seen what I've been waiting for Rodriguez, is that he's in there. I mean, first of all, not hurt, back off the IL again. Okay, that's first thing. But besides that, he's actually going long enough that I can rely on him to get me a quality start or stick around for the win. In each of his last 2 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings. And, oh, by the way, in those last 2 starts, he allowed a total of 3 base hits and 12 innings. Rodriguez is an exciting young pitcher, somebody who just needs that shot. He's got that shot. Again, was just waiting to see how he would be used because they were really limiting him early on. But now I feel really good. I'm going all in. I don't think he's a must-add everywhere. I'm not saying he's that level of prospect or anything. It's not like he's, Ricky Tiedemann or something like that. But I do feel much better about him helping my fantasy team than Tiedemann, even if he gets called up. And while it's a little early to start speculating on closers before the trade deadline, because we still have a couple of weeks left, one guy I feel almost certain is going to be in line for saves the rest of the season is Ben Joyce of the Angels. Carlos Estevez is drawing a lot of interest from a lot of teams. He's a veteran reliever. He's been the closer for the Angels this year and last year. He's having a good season. If he moves, which they also might move some of the guys behind him, that means Joyce is just logically next in line to be the closer for the second half. And it doesn't matter if the team is really good or not. Even bad teams get saves because they win close games. You don't remember, Joyce is the guy who not just throws really hard, threw a 105-mile-per-hour pitch one time. Yeah, he averages 100 on his fastball. And that hasn't resulted in huge strikeout numbers, but they will come. He's doing just fine. Since getting called up in 14 innings pitched this season, 3.14 ERA, 1.26 whip so far. He's been solid, but again, we're looking for saves here. I think he's a very smart stash if you're looking for help in that category. And if you want more help, well, the trade market is still available in fantasy leagues. You want to buy low, take advantage while you can. All-Star Break provides a great opportunity to really evaluate your needs as well as that of your league mates. Go to the latest buy low video. It's still up right here.